New York Fashion Week is known for extravagant parties, but this year, NYLON decided to raise the bar to a level nobody expected. Imagine walking into a party where the first thing you see isn't a red carpet, but a luxury Armani Fiat parked right at the entrance. Inside, a whirlwind of surprises, from roulette-style gifting to deli sandwiches served by Ice Spice herself. This wasn't just another Fashion Week after-party, it felt like stepping into an entirely new world. And the wildest part? Every corner of this event had something completely different to offer. Some guests left with brand new designer gear, others with emergency party kits, and a few even walked out carrying something way more surprising. But how did all of this come together, and what exactly went down inside NYLON's splashiest Fashion Week celebration yet? The first impression. Before guests even set foot inside, NYLON made sure the night felt unforgettable. Parked right at the entrance of the Classic Car Club was a sleek Armani Fiat 500e Collector's Edition, the kind of detail that instantly screamed luxury. But this wasn't just a photo moment. It set the tone for a night that blended high fashion with unexpected twists. And as soon as partygoers stepped in, they were met with a choice. On one side, a Sophie Tucker branded newsstand where flashing cameras gave anyone the feeling of being instantly famous. On the other, a bar pouring fruit-forward vodka seltzers from -196. The perfect fuel to kick off the night, no matter which path they took. The energy was immediate. This wasn't just a party. It was an experience designed to pull everyone in from the very first second. But what came next took that vibe to a whole new level. The glam upgrades. Once inside, it didn't take long for guests to realize this wasn't a typical Fashion Week crowd. NYLON turned part of the venue into what felt like a backstage beauty lounge, the Tresemme Spray and Slay Studio. Here, anyone could step in and get runway-ready touch-ups on the spot. Stylists worked their magic using the brand's A-list collection. A quick mist of workable hairspray here, a splash of signature hair fragrance there, and suddenly partygoers were walking out looking like they belonged on the cover of a magazine. It wasn't just about looking polished, it was about transformation. Guests who arrived straight from the streets of New York were suddenly stepping back into the party with red carpet confidence. And the best part? Every makeover felt like a secret weapon for the night ahead. But hair was just the beginning. The next stop promised gifts that nobody wanted to miss. The Style House experience. If the beauty lounge wasn't enough, the next stop was where things got truly unpredictable. The Good Stuff Style House by Marshalls. Instead of the usual gift bags you see at events, NYLON turned gifting into a game. Guests lined up to trade tokens at a roulette-style bar, where every spin promised a surprise. Some walked away with sleek designer sunglasses, others scored trendy bags, and a few lucky winners landed gift cards to shop for themselves later. The anticipation in the room was electric. Each reveal felt like a mini celebration, with people gasping, laughing, and comparing prizes like they had just won the lottery. And once their hands were full of new goodies, the glow-up continued. Guests were invited to show off their refreshed looks in a professional portrait studio. Turning the entire experience into something more than a party, it was a transformation from head to toe. But while everyone was busy upgrading their style, something even bigger was brewing on the dance floor. Music, food and Ice Spice Cameo. By the time guests hit the dance floor, the energy was impossible to ignore. DJ Jackie Hollander kicked things off, but when Sophie Tucker took over, the room shifted into full-on party mode. Neon lights bounced across the crowd. Bass shook the walls, and strangers were dancing together like they'd known each other for years. But with all that movement came hungry partygoers, and NYLON had the perfect solution. Instead of predictable catering, trays of Alidoro's legendary sandwiches were handed out at a makeshift deli station. The line formed quickly, but nobody minded waiting. Why? Because while flipping through NYLON's September issue featuring Ice Spice, fans suddenly realized the Munch rapper wasn't just on the cover. She was there, in person, at the deli counter. The reaction was instant chaos, phones up, whispers spreading, and fans racing to get a glimpse. Running into Ice Spice at a fashion party is one thing, but running into her at a bodega-style sandwich station? That was something nobody expected. And just when it seemed the night couldn't get any wilder, NYLON added yet another twist, one that was as sweet as it was surreal. The hostess lounge and quirky perks. Just when guests thought they'd seen it all, NYLON threw in a curveball that nobody saw coming, a hostess lounge. Instead of champagne towers or fine dining, the vibe here was nostalgic and playful. Twinkies, cupcake minis, donuts, even Suzy Q's were stacked across moody lit tables, turning childhood snacks into late-night fuel for the fashion crowd. It was comfort food with a glamorous twist, and people couldn't get enough. But the real surprise wasn't the dessert bar, it was the restrooms. Yes, the restrooms. Sponsored by First Response, the lines turned into unexpected social hubs. Strangers bonded while sifting through trays packed with party survival essentials, gum, mints, shout wipes, Tide-to-go sticks, hair ties, Advil, and even travel-sized Tresemme hairspray. Some guests laughed, others raised eyebrows. But when people realized pregnancy tests were also included in the mix, the shock factor went through the roof. The late-night wind down. As the night stretched into the early hours, the dance floor finally began to thin. But instead of simply sending guests home, NYLON gave them a parting experience just as stylish as the entrance. Outside, a Fiat-turned gelateria was parked and waiting. Partygoers lined up for scoops of pistachio and caramel affogato, balancing melting gelato cups in one hand while Bloom nutrition sodas fizzed in the other. It was the kind of detail that made leaving feel just as exciting as arriving. By 1 a.m., the crawl home began. Guests spilled out onto the streets of New York with their bellies full, arms loaded with new designer accessories, quirky emergency kits, and yes, even hostess keychains dangling from their bags. The look on their faces said it all. This wasn't just a party. It was a night that blurred the line between fashion event, brand showcase, and cultural spectacle. And while the lights dimmed at the Classic Car Club, the buzz around NYLON's Fashion Week takeover was just getting started. When it comes to New York Fashion Week, over-the-top parties are nothing new. But NYLON's splashy celebration wasn't just a party. It was a carefully designed experience that kept people buzzing long after the music stopped. From the Armani Fiat greeting guests at the door, to Ice Spice making a surprise deli counter cameo, to the unexpected giveaways in the bathroom, every detail was engineered to shock, entertain, and leave an impression. It proved something important. In a city overflowing with fashion events, the only way to stand out is to create moments that feel unforgettable, moments guests will talk about long after the last song plays. And for NYLON, this wasn't just a party, it was a statement. The question now is simple. With Fashion Week still in full swing, can any other brand top what NYLON just pulled off? Or will this be remembered as the night that set the standard for all parties to come?